Welcome to 2018 Vineland High School football here at Catone Stadium. My name is John Pernatazzi. My partner is Rich Scarpa, who will do the play-by-play and as usually does a great job. Before Rich talks about the players, I'd like to tell you a few facts about this coming season. Number one, we have a new schedule, which I will talk about later. We have a brand new field, which is magnificent. This is probably one of the finest settings you'll ever see with the new Astro grass.
There you go. Nice and soft.
Three, we've got a lot of new players. Gone are the Andersons, the Pachecos, and the seniors that played for 4 years at Vineland High and made them a real a winner and changed the program around. Because the Northwest League revamps every 2 years, they have moved us up considerably. So after Rich talks, I will get into the schedule. Rich?
Well, it's nice to have football here at Catone Stadium. As Coach mentioned, the new turf, outstanding. Nice and soft was down there on there earlier. Looks beautiful. New gates around the field. Of course, we have the video scoreboard, the regular scoreboard, and the stadium setting. Not a better place in South Jersey to watch some football. And for the past two seasons, Vineland's been bringing it. 8-2 the last 2 years. Off back-to-back playoff appearances, back-to-back wins over Millville. And last year they even got a share of the West Jersey Football League Conference, the Continental Conference. They had a share of that. Gone, as Coach mentions, are a lot of players, but three guys that ended up playing some division or playing in Division I, starting with offensive and defensive line anchor Noah Sanzalone, Isaiah Pacheco, and Naheem Anderson. We all know about them, and they wish them a lot of success. But they're gone. So Coach Russo and his staff have turned this program around into a high-powered offense and a very physical defense. This year, leading the way for the Fighting Clan will be captains tight end linebacker Anthony Reyes, a four-year starter, and fellow four-year starter Mike Bachma, center, and he's played some D-line last year, and he'll be starting over on that side and getting a lot of looks. Leading tacklers from last year's team, Nazir Broom and Phil Blackwell, are both back, and leading wide receiver, starting D-back Tyreen Powell is back, and his game has improved an awful lot, where Vineland's going to have some weapons. And of course, we can never forget Mr. Do a little bit of everything, J.P. Garcia. And then there's also another guy who's waited patiently all year, DeAndre Tall Kennedy, to get his touches. He didn't get many carries last year with that backfield of Anderson and Pacheco rushing for over 2,200 yards. But when he did touch the ball, some big things happened. He has blazing speed, returned 2 kicks last season. So before we get too far into this, as the teams are about ready to come out, I'd like to thank our sponsors at this time who make all this possible. The Red and Gray Gridiron Club would like to thank the following sponsors for their support of Vineland High School football team: Sir Speedy, Reconstructive Orthopedics, Ducharmes, the Greenview Inn at Eastland Golf Course, Newfield National Bank, Larry's 2 Restaurant and Caterers, Allen Associates, Delsey ShopRite, Bella Limousine, Medio Law Firm, The Claridge of Radisson Hotel, Technic Consulting, Vineland Education Association, Begal University, Manny and Vic's Pizzeria and Restaurant, MVP Sports Bar, Richland Carpet and Flooring, GNS Dry Cleaners, Carluzzo and Teresi Petroleum Transporters, Beyond the Insurance Agency, Dr. Gorson General and Cosmetic Dentistry, Baruffi Brothers, Beretta Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, Luciano Medical, Van Dodge, and Homestead Plumbing and Heating. The Vineland High football team and coaches thank everyone for their support on and off the field and look forward to another successful season. Also like to thank our crew, tonight's crew: Kayla Spire, Tanner Bushman, Jordan Skarzinski, Crew chiefs Doug Diola and Ryan Steinbron. And executive producer of VPS TV is Gia Missouri, the school district's public information officer. Coach, you're going to talk about that news, not the schedule and the division that we're in now. As things are getting a little tougher for the Fighting Clan.
Oh, yeah, the division we're in is loaded. We play St. Joe Hamilton, Timber Creek, Atlantic City, who's been a playoff team the last 2 years, and Millville. We also play Williamstown, Lenape, Trenton Central, Rancocas Valley, Washington Township, and of course we finish with Millville. In the last year, we're playing 5 teams who are in the top 5.
Yeah, I noticed that when I was looking at last year's final rankings. The top 5 teams in South Jersey are playing Vineland this year, so a big transition from last year's schedule where sometimes didn't get the competition. We needed starters out a while. You're going to have all the competition you can handle, and out of this conference and this schedule, you know, you can afford a couple losses and still make it into the playoffs.
Yeah, we're going to play St. Joe. Lenape was number 2, RV was 3, Timber Creek was 4, and Millville was 5. That's a loaded schedule, Rich. And this is what you really hope for in a program. Turn it around, play the best. If you want to be the best, you play the best. That was always my philosophy, as you know. We always open up the season with somebody. We even went to Delaware to play their state champion. And it'll be a true test to see how far Vineland has come.
It's going to be a tough test tonight with Williamstown, a preseason number 3 or 4 ranked team, and the consensus favorite to win the Group 5 title. They're the favorite starting out, and a tough way for Vineland to start. But we are at home here. And for Williamstown, it's Coach Frank Fucitello. 158 wins, 97 losses. But in the past 22 years at Williamstown, 139 and 85. So you're talking about a South Jersey coaching legend who's had a tremendous amount of success. And they're led by their big 5 players. And if you've traveled on the Black Horse Pike, you've probably seen their massive billboard with all the guys up on there. Starting out with 4-year starter at quarterback and heading to college to play D-back, J.C. Collins. He has the arm, he has the strength, he will run the ball a little bit and keep you honest throughout. Wade Inge, the running back at 5'10", 180. He's off to Delaware State next year. Aaron Lewis, 6'5", 230. He's a junior defensive end who has looks from Pitt, Temple, and Virginia Tech. He's also going to be playing on the offensive line in his first time since midget football. Linebacker tight end Brandon Perkins. Lineman Sam Ray anchors both lines at 6'2", 290. Williamstown returned 6 starters on offense and 7 on defense.
They gave Millville a tough time last year. Just lost at the end of the game.
In the playoffs, I believe it was 20 to 13 or whatever. It was overtime. And then in the year, Williamstown had the lead on Millville with 4 minutes left in the game, but weren't able to hold on.
I've known Frank for 30 years. He was at other high schools, including the Prep. And he's a good coach. They'll be well coached. You know, he's not always had the top talent around, but his teams always come well prepared. And I think that's going to be a test for Vineland.
Well, also having the coaching, the structure, and the program as Williamstown has, and being real close to it last year with most of their guys coming back. Local prognosticators have all picked Williamstown in this one by an average of 7. But the one advantage Vineland have, they have a few advantages, but one big one is the depth. The depth of Williamstown will not be the same as Vineland. And as the game goes on or injuries occur during the year, it could get tougher on them as they don't have all the replacements. So we're going to hear the national anthem in a moment, then we're going to start talking about Vineland. Williamstown has won the toss and deferred to the second half, so it'll be Vineland's receiving and their offense out on the field. Real quickly, a couple new transfers for Vineland. Jameer Malloy, the senior at 6'2", 245. He'll be in there on the defensive line and has had a very impressive preseason. He'll be jumping in that Sansalone spot from last year. And also starting D-back Truss Cooper in from Delsey. He's 5'11", 197, the senior. He'll be in that defensive backfield, and both are good to go for game one. Another transfer we have to wait a little while for. VHS offensive coordinator Jason Volpe is now going to have a tough task replacing that production. As I mentioned, 35 points a game, 2,200 yards rushing gone with graduation. Look for the offense to try to throw the ball a little more. As Russo and Volpe have always kind of wanted to, we'd see it the first drive of the third quarter when you're beating somebody, you throw it a little bit then. But it starts at quarterback, where Ryan Shelton's been holding the clipboard, waiting for his opportunity, the junior, who's trying to replace four-year starter Pacheco. And he had a nice little battle at camp, but it is going to be Shelton getting the start. And Barry Turner pushed him a little bit at camp, so I wouldn't be surprised to see some of Turner. Now with Shelton, he's tall and long, over 6 foot tall, 185 pounds, worked tremendously hard. I like when he's in space and he's heading towards the line of scrimmage with a little throw pass option. I think him in space attacking the defense can do a lot of good things for Vineland.
I like to see him. I wish he had played for me. I would love to see him run the veer. He would have been sensational. My favorite player on the Vineland team is Mike Bachman. I think he is a Division I prospect. He is tough. He's a good center. You don't see any bad snaps from him. And now he's going to go over to the defensive side and play a little bit. So that puts a little bit of experience for Vineland.
Looks like Jonathan Toney and Sincere Gay back for Vineland. As Nicholas Pomelo's ready to kick. And we are underway in the 2018 season, and we start out with an all sides on the kicking team. So as Vineland prepares to get the ball, they're going to be kicking that again. Running back position, Nazir Broom, Tall Kennedy, who we mentioned earlier, waiting for touches. Phil Blackwell, the horse in the middle, seem to be the first three guys up for carries, but you also have J.P. Garcia, Tony, the freshman who's moved, is now a sophomore who led the freshman team in rushing. And now this year you also have a standout freshman in Anthony Arthur who's sitting waiting in the wings. So plenty of guys to hand the ball to. It's going to be a matter of what's going to work best for Vineland. Checking out the receivers, leading receiver Tyreen Powell for Vineland is back. He'll be flanked by Otis Harold and sophomore Caleb Gandy, with Garcia and Conrad Jackson in there. And it could be a strength of the team getting the ball to Tyreen Powell, who's 6'4", and from what they tell me runs a 4.5 40. So there's a lot of length, speed, and he certainly has the hands for it. So let's do this again. Here's the kick. Going deep down to the 10 or make it the 8 where Gay gets it. He's heading right up the gut, looking for a little space. Spin move and drop down at the 22, where Vineland will take over their first drive. Well, up front for Vineland on that offensive line, they've lost 3 of 6 guys. And Shane Eckert and Mike Bachma return, and they were starters all last year with Anderson, who played a lot when Timmy Jones was hurt. So you got 3 guys coming back with some experience. But Dave Dutra, the sophomore, at 6'2", 250, and Darius Rivers at 6'1", 350, look to fill in up on that line. Shelton gives over the left side, bouncing to the out, picking up about 3 on the carry.
That was a nice move, Rich. He was initially hit right on the line, and does what good backs do. They look for space. That was a nice little run.
So quick pickup at 3 as Shelton is in under center. As you mentioned, Bachman, the 4-year starter at center, always makes for a smooth exchange. Hit a little early, falling forward for about another 2 or 3. Goes Broom again.
Looks like they're trying to get Sheldon's the jitters out.
Yeah, some easy plays to get going with, and it's that weird thing when you're getting 2.5 a carry. Third down becomes some decision time here. So it's going to be 3rd and 4 officially. Vineland's line across the front is going to average about 255, and don't forget Reyes at tight end there to help. Shelton keeps it himself through the middle. Looks like he has the first down over the 35-yard line. Shelton on the keeper. Looks nice heading up through that line, so first down, Fighting Clan.
36, 1st and 10 for the Fighting Clan of Vineland. Ball be spotted at the 36.
Well, he is a threat, isn't he, Rich?
Yeah, he just moves like a quarterback.
Yeah.
When we talk, we don't want to go too much into what was here last year and what we did, but
No.
he certainly provides enough of a threat. There's a pitch wide, picking up a nice block on the edge, and rumbling and stumbling ahead for a gain of about 8 that time goes Nazir Broom.
Nazir Broom. Brings the ball across the 40. 2 for 43. Second down. Second down by 3 yards.
Rich, they've looked better than the whole Bunis scrimmage.
Yeah, we were talking about that offensive line and new people coming in, but on that play there, I believe it was 74. Brandon Anderson, I mentioned, started a lot of games last year, really sealed that corner up nicely for Broom. Shelton this time himself, he's hit and dropped in the backfield, nowhere to go. He's going to lose about 3.
Brought down by number 77.
Samuel Ray makes the stop.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's a read, Rich, or just a called play.
Ball be spotted at the 40.
You know,
3rd down.
it looks like the old read, but I'm not sure he's reading it. You know, it doesn't look like it. I don't, that's a question we ought to ask.
So 3rd down here. Vineland converted on their last 3rd down. Shelton the throw, hits Powell. He's got to make somebody miss. He dives forward. He's going to be really close to that 1st down. And it looks like he's going to have it.
Yeah,
and it is 1st down.
Stopped on the play by number 3. Quinn Hart. Result of the play is a first.
That's Tyreen Powell out there. Tyreen at the end of his sophomore year received his first offer for college. So Vineland with 2 first downs, approaching midfield. Williamstown doesn't jump off as a hard count draws no one. Shelton resets, and he's to throw again. Floats it out in the flat where probably would have had 5 or 6 yards, but that's deflected.
He had a wide open, Rich.
You're trying to slide it out to Broom on the top of the screen. Nice job by the defense getting their hands up in the air.
Rich, he had enough room to run. There was nobody out there.
So
put that play in the bank. Rich, the way to run it at, I don't think he's reading it.
So Vineland 2 for 2 on their first 2 third downs. It was a run by Shelton on the first one, a completion to Powell on the second. Vineland around their own 47. Big 3rd down here, 3rd and 10. Nice move. Not enough.
That was number 34.
Timing looked much better on that one.
Yeah, he said put that play in the bank. I didn't think they would throw it that fast. But they came back with it again.
So the first drive nets a couple first downs. Shelton goes 2 for 3 on that drive for 12 yards. Snell gets away, a punt coming right down around the 20 where he's hit, makes a couple people miss, and the pursuit of Vineland holds there.
Trying to bring the ball up to the 25, to the 26. And 1st and 10 for the Braves. Ball be spotted at their own 26.
So that Vineland defense, talk about replacing people in depth. Vineland is counting on their depth with their JV going 8-1 and freshman 9-0. There should be enough fuel in that pipeline to try to keep things going.
Yeah, Rich, you know the old saying, you don't rebuild, you reload.
Well, I think this defense is going to lead the way as compared to the offense in years past. Aggressive, physical, fast. All starting with Reyes. Give up the middle, squirting forward for a gain of about 6.
Williamstown Dog Terrier, that was number 1. That was Chris Foreman, brings the ball across the 30, to about 33, brings up second down, and about 4 yards to go for the first.
Quickly, Williamstown back on the ball. They're ready to go.
Great
what
tackle.
a beautiful football play there.
Great
That's
tackle.
Isaiah Blakely. Matter of fact, while we have a second, probably a loss of 2 on that one. 50, George Robinson at nose. Jameer Malloy at tackle. Mike Bachman at tackle, number 8. Kenyon Williams, sophomore, is at D-back. Linebackers, 20, Truss Cooper, 7, Isaiah Blakely. 33, Blackwell, 34, Broom, and 84, Reyes. John Garcia, Otis Harold, and Tyrene Powell in the back. It's a give, stuttering through the middle and going to pick up about a yard. It's going to be 4th and 4. So Williamstown's going to send their punt team in.
4th down. 4 yards to go for the first.
Look at Blakely's tackle out there, takes on the block, sheds it and makes the tackle.
Super play.
Yeah, that would have been a first down without that effort. Oh, the snap's over his head. It's down at the 4. It's loose on the ground. Scoop, and doesn't score.
No.
Down to the 1.
Recover first and 10, first and goal. Ball be spotted at the 1.
Oh, the bad snap, and Truss Cooper's welcome to Vineland. Coach, you coached his pop. I played with his pop, James. It's nice to have Trust here, and Trust has nose for the ball as he almost scoops and scores, gets the ball down to the 1-yard line off that bad snap. And you mentioned it early. For 4 years, we've had Bachman snapping it pretty good back there. And does some long snapping. Other people did long snapping too, but just in general, you know, what a heartbreak for Williamstown. So it's going to be 1st and goal, right at the 1. And snaking through into the end zone goes Broom. No penalty flags on the field. So Vineland cashes in, gets on the board with that 1-yard TD run. See if Vineland's going to kick it or go for 2 here. 5:37 to go in the first quarter. Vineland's first drive was a couple first downs. Williamstown 3 and out, a bad snap.
They don't have a holder.
Well, I think you can kick it from 5 yards further back. Don't waste a timeout here.
They called the timeout.
All right, so you got a couple seconds here as they take timeout to make sure they have everything together they want, the way they want. So we mentioned the defense is going to be the key to it all. The defensive coordinator, Cliff Smith's defense last year yielded under 13 points a game, which was second best of the old Cape teams. So I mentioned 4-year starter Anthony Reyes. He's played linebacker as a freshman, was an outstanding defensive lineman D-end for the past 2 years. And now they're going to try to use him in Naheem Anderson's role as putting some pressure in the backfield, being that attacking extra guy coming from the linebacker spot. And they expect him to wreak some havoc in the opponent's backfield. Linebackers will be the strength, as I went through that list of them there. And the defensive line, it's Bachman looked really good at nose last year, moving out to that real tough D-end D tackle with Malloy in there and George Robinson at the nose. Well, what a nice start here.
That puts a lot of pressure on Williamstown now.
And it's Aparicio for the extra point. And it's up, high enough, hits the backstop, and good. So Vineland converts to make it 7-0.
Remaining in the first quarter, the Fighting Clan leads 7-0.
You know, those linebackers for Vineland, it's like all of them have plus speed. They're all right around the same size. Blackwell a little bit bigger in the middle there.
I like Blackwell.
Yeah, he was leading the team in tackles for a while, then Broom took it over. There were 2 sophomores out there really playing well. Now see a lot more from Broom carrying the ball. Well, last year we had a few common opponents with Williamstown. The Prep beat Williamstown 45-7. Prep beat us 12-0. Millville beat Williamstown 28-17 and 20-14 in overtime. We beat Millville 28-18. AC, as a matter of fact, Williamstown beat AC 14-7 while we won 34-8. So a matchup last year seems to be much more tilted in our favor when we've lost a lot to graduation and they have all their guys back. So just an outstanding start here. And let's hope this defense can get another 3 and out. Shame the weather's like it is. It's windy, the wind going from your right to your left. So heading to the west end zone. It's going to affect the passing and the kicking, a little bit of drizzle on and off. But we don't have to worry about the field. Vineland a pretty big underdog in this one, off to a great start. A nice hard return. Trying to run over a couple Vineland players out to 32.
30. The ball is spotted right around the 31. First and 10 for the Williamstown Braves.
Brody
Ball
Colbert.
spotted at their own 31.
Now this Williamstown team's going to win a lot of games, as we think Vineland is here. And it's just nice to see them get off to a nice start, penalty free. Mistakes coming from the other side, now to the outside, and escorted out after about a gain of 7 is Inge.
Pretty quick, Rich. I'm watching him get off the ball. I don't know how big he is.
Inge is a senior at 5'10", 180.
Yeah, doesn't look that big.
So Collins with 2 backs alongside, sends motion. Looks like they're going to try to get to the bottom of the screen. They give a delay and trying to pick his way in the middle. Maybe gets 1 or 2 on that carry is Inge.
Yeah, that play looked busted from the start, didn't it?
Yeah, nice discipline up front by the defense, not over pursuing.
Yeah.
As it was busted, as coach says, and he tries to take a look on the other side, and Vineland in perfect pursuit. Defensive line sliding down. 3rd and short here. See if they try to draw Vineland off. Vineland shows some discipline as they don't jump. Give over the right side to the fullback. He's got the first down and about 4 or 5 more.
That was Julian Rabkin. Ball be spotted right at the 45. The first and 10 for the Williamstown.
They seem to like to run to that right side.
Here they come down. I think we're going to get a hold there. Nice job on the outside again by Blakely, as he was engaged. I believe it was number 10, John Wood. And I think Blakely fought hard enough to get the holding call. So instead of 2nd and 5, it looks like it'll be 1st and 15. And now Williamstown saying it's on Vineland.
Personal foul, base man, Vineland, 15 yards from the end of the run.
So 15-yard face mask penalty.
But that hurts.
Who's the right tackle over there? Ball is 5-35.
That negates anything good you've done, you know, in the short yardage. When you give up a chunk of land, like that.
Yeah, it's a big gain of about 8 on the play and 15. Up the middle, hit and drop. Nice job by Reyes. Makes the first contact about a yard in the backfield. Ball popped out at the end, but he was down. Sophomore Kevin Williams.
They lost the one on the play with second down, 11 yards ago.
Defensive lineman checking
Ball
out.
spotted at 36.
Now it's Bachman at the bottom of your screen with his hand in the dirt, trying to control that edge. It's a pass. They've got their short guy. Deep guy comes open as he breaks back, makes a move on the D-back. Reyes there to drag him down from behind. The big completion gets him inside the 5.
I thought he was going to throw to the short man.
The deep guy was covered, and then when he did his out, the defender must have had his eyes off him and didn't see him break off that route and was just heading up the field. Nice patience by Collins on that one. So first and goal the other way. 3:38 to go in the first quarter. And Williamstown's going to use a timeout there. Well, they're not in yet, Coach.
Yeah, it shows you what that penalty does to you. I mean, they put him in good field position. You know, the kid don't mean to do it, but there are things that happen, but it really, you know, hurts you in the long run.
It takes away that room for error. It takes away that missed tackle. You know, you can't afford any of those things anymore.
Right.
It's a nice pursuit by the linebacker Reyes after that.
Yeah,
move
boy, he was downfield, wasn't he?
All right, so Collins has them ready. First and goal at the 2. See if they go to that fullback 33 again. Picking his way down inside the 1, just inside the 1.
Boy, they like that right side, Rich. Except for the sweep, I don't remember him running left.
Second down, ball spot at the 1.
Real tight formation. Looks like the quarterback's going to take this himself, and he does. And he's in for the score.
And that is the quarterback, number 7, that kicks it in for a touchdown. Number 7, Jonathan Collins.
So Collins finishes it off and punches it in. Now here's the try for the extra point is Nicholas Pomelo will be doing the kicking. Holding for Williamstown is Dougie Brown. Good snap, placed well, drilled through the middle, so we're tied up with 3:15 to go. Well, that Vineland offense now, of course you would take a quick score, but if they could hold on to it, get some first downs. That defense was on the field till the punt. Then one play later we scored and was back on the field again. As you see everybody getting some water in them. It is pretty humid out tonight.
That was a 70-yard drive, Rich. Of course, 15 of it was the penalty. But,
yeah, that's one thing about a passing game, though. One person misreads something or steps the wrong way or doesn't see somebody finish their route a different way, you know, they're big yards. You know, it's something different than the running game where you grind out on people, and could be a little disheartening when somebody answers you that quick.
Or you have a Pacheco that can break one every time. That ain't bad either.
That was always nice. All right, so again, it's Sincere Gay and Jonathan Tony. Gay, the junior, at 5'6", 145. Tony, junior, is a sophomore. Jonathan Tony Jr. is a sophomore at 5'8", 158. It's nice to see the long kickoffs. That's going to go right between both of them. So here comes that offense. Got Brandon Roldan starting up and on that line, the senior at 5'10", 260.
Each team's got a 1-yard run touchdown, Rich. That's coincidental, I think.
Looks like, is that Anthony Arthur, number 1, the freshman, alongside Shelton. And the freshman gets his first carry and stood up at the line, but made a nice move just to get back to it. Anthony Arthur at 5'9", 160. And so does Harold, the other wide receiver.
I like the spread that Vion's running. It puts a lot of pressure on the defense.
Just Powell almost demands double coverage.
Yeah.
Here's a fake. Here's Shelton. Tries to find a crease to get through. He'll lunge forward, maybe pick up a yard.
Picks up a yard on play. Brings up third down about 9 yards to go for the first.
So Nazir Broom back in there at running back.
Bad coverage on this side, Rich. Look how deep the inside safety is.
Mm-hmm. Oh, nice catch. Dumped over the middle. I believe that's Conrad Jackson on the tight end seam with a big gain.
Number 81, Conrad Jackson on the reception.
About 41 yards. Yeah, that jet motion was a fake, and they just hit the tight end.
Ball was spotted at the 43.
On the backside on the seam.
First 10 for the Fighting Clan.
Or slot receivers. Jackson does a little bit of both. There's a pitch. Nice block on the inside. And there comes a late flag on that block.
On the carry. There is a flag on the play.
Thought Conrad Jackson may have been close enough to the line where he could get low on that defender. Oh, they're calling a holding, so it was a different, wasn't the player that got knocked down. There was another hold on the inside. But it was a great block by Conrad Jackson that allowed that gain temporarily till the penalty.
He hooked the guy, which is what you want. You want to be able to get outside that first down lineman on the line of scrimmage. Once you get past that line of scrimmage, anything can happen.
So first down now, 1st and 20. Shelton the pass, hits Powell. Powell not able to hang on as he slants to the middle.
Pass falls incomplete.
Wade Inge on the coverage.
Boy, I like the way Sheldon throws the ball, Rich. He looks like a quarterback doing it.
Yeah, I think right now in his progression, when he drops back, makes 1 or 2 reads and gets rid of the ball, it's fine. I think coaches are more concerned when the plays are extended, trying to do a little bit too much. So 2nd and 20. Shelton on a quarterback draw. He's only going to gain 1 on that.
He stopped in the play by number 71. Lewis Jr.
Yeah, Shelton's worked tremendously hard in the offseason as he's been chomping at the bit for this opportunity. I think he put a bed in the weight room. It looks like he's lived there. So 3rd and 20. I say you just go Powell. Shelton under pressure, runs away from it, throws it. Incomplete to Powell, but nice job getting rid of it on the sideline as Powell tries to pull it in. But time for Vineland to punt.
But that was close to being a catch.
Yeah,
I don't know where his feet were because we couldn't tell.
it was a nice job of both of them communicating as he got outside the pocket. Powell started coming back to him. So here's Schnell with another punt. This one's high, end over end, coming down to the 23 where it's fair call.
Boy, Vineland's kicking game has improved, hasn't it, Rich?
Yeah, and Schnell, I don't believe he played last year. He's a wrestler at school, but used to play in the midgets with everybody else, and senior came out. And Schnell is a wide receiver corner at 5'11", 175. But he'll be handling the punting duties, it looks like. Boy, I can remember times where we couldn't get a punt off, Coach.
Ooh.
Right here we have.
How about kickoffs?
South Jersey's number 3 or 4 team in here, and it's tooth and nail right now. So time for that defense to stand up here for the Fighting Clan as we're down to just 37 seconds left in the first quarter. There's traffic, and I'll tell you what, that's a nifty, nice run. Not for much of a gain, but he had to move a few times.
Number 5 again, waiting.
Inge is only going to, well, he's going
It's
to
the
pick up 4.
third time Williamstown's had the ball. And all 3 times, Vineland's had him backed up, which is really good.
This time Inge going to the top, tries to outrun Blakely, and he's tackled after a gain of maybe 2.
Right around the 29.
Unofficially, Inge now 6 carries for 21 yards, including that. No, he didn't have the 1 yard. That was the quarterback. He had the first play from the 2 and got a yard.
Yeah, Collins.
Yeah, not the touchdown. Always like to give somebody credit if they have a 1 yard carry, but it's for a touchdown. It kind of hurts your average a little bit. Big third down here for both teams as Williamstown is set to go 3rd and 5. Because of out of bounds, there's 5 seconds left. Looks like a screen. Is it sniffed out? And a real nice tackle.
Stopped on the play by number 7, Mr. Blakely.
So Blakely and Broom in on that stop. That's a nice play as the screen was set up and it didn't fool the linebackers. That's one thing, to run a screen on a team with 5 down linemen, 2 ends, 2 tackles, and a nose, you're going to get people out of the way up the field. But when Vineland just has those 3 guys, the 2 ends / tackles and the nose, you still got 2 extra guys you didn't account for. So not a real strong team to run inside screens on.
One of the linebackers is keying on the back.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to be a supporter of Vineland High School football,
I can remember you saying you've got the outside back on this side, right? Right.
Yep. We'll make any donations to the Red Gray Gridiron Club.
So it looks like it's going to be time for Williamstown to punt. As that Vineland defense does a nice job.
Or Red Gray member. Okay, again, we appreciate all your donations to Vineland High School football. Thank you.
That was a pretty quick first quarter, Rich.
Yeah, and this was what gave Williamstown all the trouble before was the snap on the punt.
Yeah, this is Williamstown's 3rd possession. Violence had 3. And, of course, the 1 possession, they started on the 1 yard line. That's great.
Not too shabby.
No. You like to start every possession there. Well, here comes the exciting play again, Rich. Where's this one going?
This one's a nice snap. It's a short kick. Fire, get away from it, Tyreen. There you go. Takes a beautiful roll for Williamstown, but Vineland's still going to get in a good starting position at their own 37. Now it's time to get back on top, Coach.
Yep.
So the ball will be spotted at 37, be first and 10 for the Fighting Clan of Vineland.
Boy, it's almost like we're going to be playing a high school game of the week each week with these opponents we're facing this year. And a lot believe this to be one of the toughest tests on the schedule is this season, the preseason rankings, with Williamstown a favorite to win the Group 5 early on and also ranked in number 3 and number 4 in South Jersey. Shelton takes it himself. He's hit, spins to the middle. He's going to lose about 1.5 yards.
Yeah. I truly believe Vineland's going to have to open it up, Rich. I know they don't like to do that.
Well,
you know, from all the success they had running last year.
I'm surprised that haven't seen Broom back there. Broom with 4 carries, 3 yards, 3 yards, 7 yards, and a 1-yard touchdown run. Shelton fires and diving back and making an interception at the 45-yard line, where Williamstown's going to take over.
Number 4.
Tyler Cunningham made a nice break on that football. Elijah Jones jumps in at nose guard now for Vineland. I believe this is Williamstown's best field position at the Vineland 45 to start it.
Vineland's had him backed up on the other ones.
And they give to the bottom. Yeah, bone jarring hit by Tyreen Powell.
Hit on the play here.
On Quinn Hart.
Tyreen Powell on the stop.
And all that running's going to be a gain of 2.
Yeah, it looked like that was a big play.
Second down and 8.
Yeah, I think it was Blakely came up, took on the 2 blockers, but they were able to keep him out of there. Boy, Powell from that deep safety position really broke nicely on the ball. Now he's going to try to keep at the bottom. There's Blakely making a tackle, but not before a gain of about 3.
That's Jonathan Collins.
So it's going to be 3rd down and about 5. We have a Vineland player down on the field. I believe that's Kevin Williams.
There is a car that is blocking the front of
sophomore 5'10", 235. He's playing up on that D line. Hopefully he's just cramped up. Well, the season actually started last night, Coach. Middle Township went to Cumberland. Middle Township was all over Cumberland, 35-7. Mainland started out with a win over Overbrook at Overbrook, 10-6. When the big bulk of the schedule gets underway tonight, it's Holy Spirit at Mount St. Joe's, Maryland. State College, PA at St. Augustine Prep. That got underway at 6. St. Peter's Prep at Millville. Atlantic City at Egg Harbor. Cedar Creek at Willingboro. Haddonfield at Pleasantville. That's been circled as one of the, you got the defending state champion and upstart Pleasantville under Coach Sacca. That's been labeled one of the games of the week along with this one here, Vineland and Williamstown. And it's St. Joe's tomorrow versus Hamden Hall, Connecticut at the University of New Haven.
That, I'm surprised Millville. St. Peter's is a powerhouse. I mean, they play a national schedule. Not only that, the state has deemed that. What do you do when you can question a call? I forget the flag.
Review?
You can ask for a review in that game. And that's a trial and error run to see how it's going to work out.
So Williams with some help heading off. He's had a real good preseason as a defensive line coach Guzman filling me in on his progress, and now he got the starting nod in there. But last year's starter back in there now, Elijah Jones, a senior, 5'10", 350, right at the nose in the middle. And third down and about 5. It's quarterback draw, and there's an opening for him. He's got the first down. He squirts forward inside the 30 to around the 27.
Jonathan Collins brings the ball across the 30 to about the 29. Be first and 10 for the Williamstown Braves. Ball be spotted.
You can tell he's a senior, Rich. He's got a lot of good instincts.
And doesn't hem-haul and think about it either. He's very, very quick. That play was just fast all around as Williamstown getting off the ball very well. There's a couple nice hits, but that's a hard running fullback. So he takes a couple shots before he's brought down. Julian
I
Gavner.
thought we had him stopped at the line of scrimmage. But he kept, it's a sign of a good back. Keep pumping your leg.
27.
5'10", 210.
Rich Rizzo used to do that. I loved the way he ran. Him and Ronnie Rogers never gave up.
They're both very good in their own right. Rogers had those high knees. He wasn't fun to tackle. 2nd and 8. It's tipped. Collins has it. There's pressure. He gets away from the first one, and there's the rest of the swarm on defense.
Oh, that's a big play.
Booker stop for a loss.
Broom in there to clean it up at the bottom. Play. 73, DeMarcus Rivers, the sophomore, checks in.
It's a third down.
I don't know if they're in 4-down territory or not, but that was a big play.
Yeah, it's kind of.
And it was the quarterback's fault.
Mm-hmm.
Went right through his hands.
So another third down for Williamstown. Third and real long, about 14 now after that play. And it's pass over the middle, and he's open. Making a couple moves before he's brought down.
He's short, though, Rich, I think.
And it's Brandon Perkins.
Oh, no, you're not.
So fresh set of downs now. The ball at the 18 of Vineland.
I thought he was short. Huh.
Well, that's some nice running, hitting that little crack in there, goes Inge.
That's Inge again. The ball spotted on the 12.
All right, how about that turnover, Coach?
2nd and 4.
Yep.
He's trying to keep it himself and cuts back into the middle.
Ball carries number 7.
Where he's hit hard by DeMarcus Rivers. Sophomore, 6'1", 315. He had a little varsity time at the beginning of last year.
That's a shame, that interception, Rich, because Sheldon was throwing the ball so well.
And it wasn't like it was super late or super in the wrong spot. It was really a great coverage and a real nice break on the ball by the D-back. And that's why Collins is playing D-back in college next year. Looked like procedure on the offense. That'll be Williamstown's first penalty if that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's going to push him back to 3rd and about 9. Vineland 2 penalties, a face mask and a hold for 25 yards. Williamstown makes their first, but talk about penalties, you also got to talk about, that errant snap. That was a 30-yard loss.
This is a big play, Rich.
And this big play's taking a little bit of time to get in. Looks like they'll be able to get it off, though. Wow, that's a really nice play on the inside. And that's Reyes. Reyes, containing the outside, forces the runner back to the middle and is able to hold on and drag him down. So it's going to be 4th and 6. Looks like Williamstown's going to try a field goal to take the lead here with 6:48 to go. Be a 32-yard field goal.
Kid's got a good leg, Rich. He was kicking 10 yards further back doing warm-up.
And if we See that flag out there? It's kind of blowing right in his face. So no offsides, fellas. Let's see what happens. And it's low, and it's no good. The defense stands. A couple real nice plays on defense. Able to get the ball turned over on downs where Vineland will take over in their own end and see if they get back to pounding that ball. It's Arthur checking in at the running back spot.
Ball will be spotted at 20.
Number 4, Otis Harrell at the bottom of your screen. All the way up to Tyreen Powell. Here's jet sweep trying to cut in the middle, and a vicious hit at the scraping linebacker. Just delivers a shot.
Ball carries number 3, Tony.
Make that the lineman. Nice speed.
Wow. Man, he fought his way down the line.
Defensive
Came
end
off the block.
from that top end spot. Boy, he kept scraping. That's Aaron Lewis, the junior at 6'5", 230. Talked about him pregame, and that's his normal spot, that D end. This is his first time playing on the offensive side, though. So a loss of 1. Quick hitter up the middle, not much there.
Well, do you allow Sheldon to put the ball in the air again, Rich?
Yep, and I'm going vertical, Coach. That ball's going over the 50, so it can work as a punt. And I'm going to throw it up for Tyreen Powell. I'm going to have everybody else on the other side. That's a good start. We got 3 receivers to the top, just Tyreen at the bottom. Tyreen's locked up with Collins.
Screen to the right.
We got him outmanned there, especially with Jonathan Woods as safety playing way back. Vineland's going to think about it on this big 3rd down and 9 and call timeout with 4:58 to go.
It's our 2nd timeout, Rich. We got 1 more. We used 1, remember, on the extra point.
Yep. Good thing we got that extra point, Coach.
Yeah, this is Vineland's 5th possession. They haven't had much of an offense. They have 1 good pass play right down the middle to Jackson. Is it Jackson caught that pass?
Yeah, about a 40-yarder or so.
And that was the big play. And the score came off a bad snap, so, you know.
Unofficially, Vineland with 73 yards of offense so far. Very unofficial. I haven't missed them, but it's hard to keep up. 47 yards rushing for Williamstown. They had that big pass play also. See if we get a little air in here, Coach. So big 3rd down for the Fighting Clan. Shelton, quarterback draw. He's got blocking in front of him, and he makes a nice block. Shelton pulls forward for the 1st down. I believe that was 74 leading the way. Brandon Anderson had pretty much an ISO block and makes the great block. Shelton uses his wheels, hops to the inside, and that's a big 1st down for the Fighting Clan.
Well done. Still got that trip set.
Now they're coming to the bottom. Not much there. That time for Broom, who gets 1. It's Broom's first touch since that first drive. And he's going to stay in with Shelton. You know, it's Conrad Jackson at tight end. As Reyes is tight end last year, Jackson played there also, but with the broken thumb and pin. Shelton on himself through the middle. He sees an opening, lowers his shoulder, picks up about 6.
Shelton brings the ball across the 40.
And we have a player down on the field.
Timeout for injury on the field.
Well, we have that timeout. Take care of some halftime.
2 of them, Rich.
Halftime housekeeping and thank our sponsors. As we have 3:55 to go. The Red and Gray Gridiron Club would like to thank the following sponsors for their support of Vineland High School football this season. Sir Speedy, Reconstructive Orthopedics, Ducharme's, the Greenview Inn at Eastland Golf Course, Newfield National Bank, Larry's 2 Restaurant and Caterers, Allen Associates, Delsey's ShopRite, Bella Limousine, Medio Law Firm, the Claridge, a Radisson Hotel, TechNed Consultant, Vineland Education Association, Begal University, Manny and Vic's Pizzeria and Restaurant, MVP Sports Bar, Richland Carpet and Flooring, GNS Dry Cleaners, Carluzzo and Teresi Petroleum Transporters, Bondi Insurance Agency, Dr. Gorson General and Cosmetic Dentistry, Baruffi Brothers, Beretta Plumbing, Heating and Cooling, Lugiano Medical, Van Dodge, and Homestead Plumbing and Heating. The Vineland football team and its coaches would like to thank everybody for their support on and off the field and look forward to another successful season. We're ready to go. 3rd and short, 3rd and 1. It's Shelton standing back there with Broom. Broom averaging 3 yards a pop. He just needs 1 here. Shelton gives to Broom, who's hit and stays on his feet, and he's going to have the first down. Nice leg drive to convert it, so Broom's going to pick up 3 on that one again.
He's a bigger back than Arthur.
First and 10 for the Fighting Clan of Vineland.
And he gets that
Arthur
forward push.
Yeah, Arthur at 160. Broom listed at 175, but certainly he almost looks like Blackwell did last year at 190. Shelton gets him set. 1st and 10 Fighting Clan, just approaching midfield. I think a procedure call on Vineland. Sure enough, that's going to move Vineland back 5.
Opening game, Rich, is very few penalties.
Yeah, and face mask penalties happen. But both teams tried to draw the other off earlier. Nobody moved. Everybody was happy on the defensive sides of the ball. Only 1 procedure call each way. I just worry about Shelton hopping before he gets the ball. You don't watch that. Shelton keeps it himself over the right side and maybe gets a yard.
He takes a lot more hits than he would if he was running the option, because he'd be pitching that ball. But kid's a pretty good threat. I like the way he runs.
Yeah, you're exactly right, though. He does take a beating, and he's certainly put on the size this past year and the strength to try to absorb some of that, getting ready for this workload he's anticipating. So 2nd and long, 2nd and 14. Shelton throws complete to Powell. That's going to get a lot of that back. So it's going to make it 3rd and about 7.
It cannot complete that. I mean, they're so far off of him.
So 3rd and 7. Vineland just crossed the midfield line. We're at 2:14 and running in the 2nd quarter. And it's a keep. It's Shelton, and he's hit right away. Nice job by the linebacker in there, Brandon Perkins. Vineland's going to punt it back to Williamstown with 1:50 and running on the clock. So looks like 1 more try for Williamstown with the football as Brody Colbert goes back deep alongside Jonathan Wood. Yeah, 4th and 6, you don't have to worry about watching the ball. Low snap. Schnell's knee hit the ground when he touched it, and that's going to give the ball right at the 40-yard line, right about the 40. So when Snell went to pick it up, his knee hit the ground. So at the Vineland 39 officially is where Williamstown's going to take over. That snap just not making it all the way back there. I guess it's a little better than going over somebody's head.
Yeah. The second time in a row that Williamstown has started in Vineland territory. First time the field goal was missed.
So Rivers and Jones in on the front as Vineland's rotating their D linemen. Collins goes pitch and hit and drop. Loss of about 6 on the play. That's Anthony Reyes. 84 Reyes with the tackle for loss, and that's going to be a loss of about 6.
Excuse me, that's Anthony Reyes on the tackle.
Swing pass. Nice blocking in front. Picks up about 7 or 8. The Vineland player down on the field. So 3rd and 9 coming up, and that's going to give Coach Fushitola a little bit of time to figure out if he's going to play this 2 downs or 1 down. It's the clock stop, but there's only 49 seconds left.
I thought he called timeout, but I guess because of the player being down, he could rescind it.
Well, he hasn't used one yet, so I assume.
Yeah, he's used one.
Oh, he did? So he's got 2 left, and either they're going to rush up to the line and get it going, or maybe they take it after the player's up. So that big stop by Reyes kind of trades plays, and it's back to a 3rd and 9.
Yeah.
So that defense held last time when Williamstown started in Vineland territory. If they can do it one more time, they got to hold on for just under a minute.
Offensive line coach Sylvester Shafalalia. The defensive line coach is Jose Guzman. Our quarterback coach is Chris Bizo. Our special teams coach is Jim Eccles. And the varsity JV coach is Alan Eckert. The athletic director is Mr. Donnie Robbins. Our athletic director secretary is Ms. Lloyd Hayes. Equipment managers are Bruce Trapani, Joe Pettit, and Dave Ganty. And our athletic trainers are Dave Reckenbell and Dara Tomasello.
Seems to be walking under his own power, Rich.
They're looking for something. I don't know if his mouthpiece fell out or his ear pad. Looking around for something.
Yeah.
So Trust Cooper seems to be all right as he's heading off. Hopefully just some cramps. You certainly can't move when you're knotted up, though. It hurts like heck. See if they try to get some fluid in Trust. 3rd down. Looks like a double pass coming. No. It's a screen. Almost making the tackle and then cleaning it up. Nice job by Broom initially. Looked like Reyes may have cleaned it up after. But so 4th down, a big 4th down as Williamstown takes a timeout with 38 seconds to go. It's going to be 4th and a long 4. This will be a nice victory for this defense if they can hold here. Well, Williamstown has that big offensive line trying to lean on that Vineland defense, and defensive line coach Guzman and defense coordinator Cliff Smith are rotating up front, keeping some fresher bodies there, so the impact not as great, but it all comes down to this play in the first half as Collins in the backfield communicating with his back right near him. I believe that's Quinn Hart. And watch some trickery here. It's passed, looking in the middle, and deflected. Nice coverage on the play by Vineland. As that's Broom that deflects it away, and Vineland's going to take over. 34 seconds to go. The defense does its job for the second possession. Williamstown starting in Vineland territory. I think they're at the 38 when that one started, Coach?
They started at 39, right?
39, so in all that, they ended up gaining about 5 yards. Nice job by the defense. You see how far Shelton can throw it, Coach? Shelton has motion in front of him. He fakes, and it's dive up the middle, picking his way for a gain of about 8 on the play. And Vineland's going to take their last time out. You know, Arthur with his best run of the day, a gain of 8.
The ball carrier is number 7, Blakely. A nice carry.
Blakely?
I think it was number 1, Arthur.
I did too.
You always like to believe other people. Like when I say 3rd and 6 and they go, it's 3rd and 7, and you want to believe them. So 24 seconds. Second down after that gain. Well, let me have another trick up their sleeve. Just want to make sure you keep the ball in the middle of the field in front of you. Can't give up on any plays. But Vineland's offensive line had a big test with this defensive front. Their first time together with 3 new starters, well 4, because the tight end Reyes isn't playing tight end today. He had a surgery and pins put in his thumb. It's got a cast on it with a little soft cast over the top so he can play some defense. Brandon Roldan and Anderson on that line have stepped up. Of course, there's the fake. Shelton trying to run it himself. Gets to the outside. He's to the 50 and the 46 of Williamstown for a first down with 19 seconds left.
That's a pretty good play there. He had everybody spread, and once he broke the line of scrimmage, everybody was back playing pass defense.
Shelton pump fakes. He's under pressure. Floats it out. Complete and getting out of bounds wisely with the football is Jonathan Toney, the sophomore. It was a nice outlet for Shelton. And it's going to be a first down. Vineland on the 35-yard line with 11 seconds left. And they've used all their timeouts, correct, Coach?
Yep.
I'll talk to the scoreboard operator. He's saying we got a handful left. They forgot to take them off of there. So what could be the last play of the first half. Shelton back. He's got time. Now he steps up, and he's hit. And that's probably going to do it for the first half as we're at 3, 2, and 1. A competitive first half for both teams as they're going to hit the locker room 7-7. Williamstown won the toss. They'll be getting the ball to start the second half. Coach, take me through some of that.
Sure, it did. Vineland had the ball 6 times. They scored on a bad snap on a punt. Broom went in from 1 yard. The second time they had the ball, the kick was good. That was at the 5:37 mark of the first quarter. Came right back, Williamstown. That second possession, they had a 70-yard drive. Finished off by Collins, 1-yard run. The kick was good, and it was 7-7. Both scores coming in the first quarter. The second quarter was just a game of field position. Vineland had the ball in their own 37. They threw an interception, but they held. Williamstown tried a field goal, and it was no good. And the half ended with Vineland having the ball and the clock running out. So it's basically a vanilla first half, Rich. Nothing, nobody was outstanding in any way. Both defenses played very well. I thought Vineland's defense was excellent, holding, and Williamstown, they checked Vineland pretty good. So second half will,
Yeah, it's been pretty even. Vineland with a couple people banged up as Truss Cooper has his equipment off, heading off the field. Also noticed DeAndre Tall Kennedy, we talked about returning kicks and getting some touches in the backfield. He's in street clothes today also. And the third is Josue Delgado Jr., a transfer that I believe has to wait for some reason 5 weeks, not the 3, I'm not sure. But he's a linebacker, fullback at 5'9", 200 that the coaches have been raving about. So those 3 out, everybody else healthy and ready to go. And it looks like as it went on, Shelton got more comfortable, ran the ball better each time. And looking forward to a second half, we get a little, there's our crew. We get a little better start and continuity on offense. It looked like the passing game was going well. Our crew right now, and you're seeing them, it's Kayla Spire, Tanner Bushman, Jordan Skarzinski, crew chiefs Doug Diola and Ryan Steinbron. And executive producer of VPS TV is Gia Masori, the school district's public information officer. And, Coach, we're going to step away. Hopefully the Vineland Marching Clan will be out on the field shortly, and we'll see you for the second half.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's halftime, so why don't you take this opportunity to check out our concession stands. They're loaded with plenty of food. We have Chick-fil-A, chicken sandwiches. It's a popular item here at Gatone Stadium. Candy, soda, everything to your liking, so please make a stop out to our concession stands located, again, at the back or the front of the stadium, and also on the visitor sideline right here to the side. East end of the stadium. We have a concession stand on the visitor side. So please make a stop out to our concession stand. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, just a reminder, if you didn't know this, that the programs are free. If you want to get a program for the football game, they are located at the concession stands. So again, pick up your copy of the program. And again, they are located at the concession stand, and they are absolutely free. Thank you.
All right, we're back for second half. It's Vineland stretching out on the field, as does Williamstown. And it's about as knotted up as you can get. So right now, the only advantage I could see is that Williamstown's getting the ball first. So if that defense can make a stop and get the ball back to Vineland, we're back playing even. But an outstanding performance by the Fighting Clan, especially up front on that offensive line, as Vineland's been able to move the ball. Shelton's had some time to throw it. There's been some running lanes, and it's a big task against one of the better teams in South Jersey. And I'm going to be saying that all year, so I'm going to have to stop. But you have a real quality team here, and you're tooth and nail with them. So just hope Vineland has enough in the tank to keep pushing, and maybe they could break the other side.
They both teams played very well on defense. You can't fault the defense. I mean, they had the ball 5 or 6 times, and Vineland scored on a 1-yard run, and Williamstown scored on a 1-yard run. But the rest of it, they held in check pretty good, both defenses. Sheldon has looked good running. He looked good passing until he threw the interception. But that happens. But you can't hold back on the young man. You got to let him go.
Yeah, and that big 70-yard drive that Williamstown had included a 15-yard face mask penalty and about a 35-yard pass play.
Right.
So, I mean, they got it in big chunks. It's not like they've just been grinding out 5 a pop and moving the ball. They've had a lot of third downs, converted some, missed some others. So, as going into the game, Coach Russo, starting his 6th season, 24 wins, 26 losses. And believe me, when he took over, there was time I didn't like saying it, but 16-4 the last 2 years. That doesn't happen very often as Vineland back-to-back 8-win seasons.
Yeah, he did a good job.
And all along we've been hearing the same thing from the coaching staff. You know, we're good at a few levels. The pipeline's full. We have guys. Next guy up is going to step in. I know that's a trendy thing to say now, but that's exactly what's happened. Roldan, Anderson, and Dutra starting up on the line with Bachma.
Be interesting, Rich. Danny is also the head basketball coach now. That's a hell of a load to carry.
Yeah, and defensive coordinator Cliff Smith, also the head boys lacrosse coach. Defensive line coach Jose Guzman, the girls track and field head coach. So they brought success and they brought culture, and now AD Donnie Robbins spreading it through some of the different sports. And as you mentioned, sometimes you have enough time for all that. As a former coach, I realize that sometimes then you got to take from other places too.
Yeah, I talked to Danny a long time about that. And this summer, he practiced football. Don't get me wrong, I might have this backwards. But he practiced football in the morning, basketball in the afternoon. I said, holy mackerel. I did that a couple of years. I was a basketball coach after football. But I wasn't the head coach then.
Yeah, and you also have to be thankful, as you were then, and he must be now, to his family for the time that he's putting in.
Yeah.
And, you know, he doesn't nonchalant or anything. You know, he's very thorough. His preparation and the whole staff's preparation is very good. So we didn't mention Coach Vizo, quarterback's coach. He's got himself a new quarterback after 4 years with Isaiah Pacheco, and his quarterbacks looked all right in this first half.
Yeah, I think Chris did a good job coaching him.
And Coach Cefalalio has that offensive line doing all right tonight. That's a nice deep kick. and going to squirt in the end zone for the touchback. It's nice to see Aparicio put his foot into one. I know we all know he can, but last year it was always them pop flies to about the 35. It's nice to see it go deep. Now Williamstown will have to start at their own 20.
Well, let's see what adjustments they both made, if they made any.
Those linebackers have been swarming. Blakely with a couple real nice plays, and we've been talking about Reyes, Broom, and the rest. Blackwell. Quarterback draw. Trying to go to the top of the screen. Can he gain leverage to the corner? Gets a little bit before he's brought down by Kevin Williams. Or make that J.P. Garcia, number 6.
Running on the 27. Second down.
Got one down already.
I didn't think he was going to get outside.
No, he really, well, when you're the 4-year starter and you're playing D-back at Mass, I guess you have that extra speed because it looked like we had him flanked and we're going to be able to turn him in.
Oh, Vine Empire's down, Rich. Can you see the number?
Not yet. But they're down and they're holding their toe. You know what that is. It's weird cramping out. There's Shelton on the sideline as he's eager to get back in there. So the Vineland player sitting up. We are just 8 seconds into this second half. It's going to be a 2nd and 4.
That Trevor Brown is a nice sized young man from Williamstown. Who is that, Rich?
It's either Cooper 20. I don't have a 28, so it must be a 20.
26. 20?
That's 20. That's Cooper. You should recognize that walk, Coach. Pressure in the backfield, but eluding it. And scraping forward for a nice gain. Christian Foreman.
Ball carries number 1, Chris Foreman. Brings the ball across the 40.
So it looks like they want to attack just off tackle on an angle there and try to head up the field. They're staying away from the middle. There's pressure. Can they make the tackle and stop for no gain, maybe a loss of 1? That was Cooper, who's back in and coming out on the side here, getting worked on by the trainer. So a loss of 1. 2nd down here. Little confusion in the Williamstown backfield. Nicely played. Beautiful. Otis Harold, number 4 on the outside. Sees that play develop and runs up, engages the blocker, and drives back. He doesn't stay passive to give those yards. Then the tackle's made, bringing it 3rd and long. Bachma checking in. Let's try to see if they can get a little pass rush as Jones checks out. So 3rd and 9. Collins back. He's got time, late pressure, and beautifully defended on the play. Is that Harold again? Way to go, Otis. Otis gets his hands on it and knocks it away, so the Vineland defense Stands tough. It's going to be 4th and 9, and here comes the punt team for Williamstown.
See, that bothers me, Rich, in the passing game. You got 4th or 3rd and 9, and you throw a 5-yard pass. You got to throw a marker pass. You got to get that.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get to the marker.
Lathan Ken in for Vineland. It's a good snap. Pressure up the middle from Vineland. The punt's away, and it looks pretty good. And it's going to take a Vineland hop. Some smart Williamstown players dive back on top of it. That's Brody Colbert. So decent field position for Vineland as Williamstown started on their 20. Looks like Vineland's going to start on their own 37-yard line. Well, every bit of a break they got with the favorable roll before, you know, that ball just popped right back for
yeah,
about
it was
8
a
yards.
nice wedge.
So once again, it's Anthony Arthur, the freshman, alongside Shelton. Give to Arthur. He's trying to follow his blocking and pulls forward for a gain of about 3 or 4. Make it 4 yards. 2nd and 6 as the freshman picks up 4 on the first down. I believe he's following Eckert through that hole.
Ball carrier was number 1, Arthur.
Shelton himself extends, picks up probably about 4 more, making it 3rd and a long one.
I see signs, Rich, of Williamstown. Getting a little tired out there.
I know what you're seeing. Once you said I see signs, I looked and I seen the hands on the hips.
Yeah.
The loose hands hanging down. One thing Shelton's doing well when he's running, he's really attacking that line of scrimmage. Not a lot of lateral motion. Not much there on the give. It's going to be 4th and short. Ball on the Vineland 47. They've got to get to the 48. Coach Parentazzi says punt. See what Coach Russo, oh, they moved it up a little bit. Looks like they're going to measure. Well, you've got time to think, Coach. 47-yard line, 1 yard to go. You going for it? On 4th? Look at the new Coach Parentazzi. Old coach would say, punt the ball, Rich.
Oh, yeah.
Punt the ball, Rich. I've heard that for over a decade. This is the silliest thing, though, bringing the chains in. Oh, they're short by about 2 inches. I just think in this day and age, why can't the yard markers just shoot a laser beam, you put it at 90, and you put a card down, touches the card, doesn't touch the ball. Boom, done, and we're back to playing. Because when they run in, 1 link over, 1 link back, and it's not so much in high school, but even in the pros when they go through that. So Vineland is going for a big play here on their own side of the field at their own 47. It's 4th and inches. Shelton in the shotgun. So it won't be the quarterback sneak, but will be the quarterback draw. As Shelton moves forward and has the first down, it looks like to me on the far side. The near side judge is way out of whack.
Oh, he made it with ease, Rich.
And first down. I got nervous with this side judge. I know he's not marking it, but he's following it in, and he was a little light. So Shelton.
He actually fumbled the ball. I don't know if, well, we can't see it. But the ref said he was down.
Yeah, most likely trying to stretch that out. So 1st and 10, Fighting Clan. They convert that 4th down, and Shelton looks to throw. He's got his receiver. Making a move to the inside and brought down after a gain of 8. It's like J.P. Garcia.
On the play, bring the ball across the 45.
Tell you what, Vineland, we've not been a big passing team in our recent history or as far back as I can go. 140 yards passing. It's the most we've had. 20 attempts was done 3 times. We're creeping in on both of them as this game progresses. It's a short passing game, has been pretty effective for Vineland. There goes Garcia behind Shelton. Shelton takes it himself, hits his own man, and jumps forward for the first down. Brandon Anderson was engaged in a block and trying to push off as Shelton hits him.
First and 10 for the Fighting Team of Vineland. Ball is fouled at the 41.
So first and 10 in Williamstown territory. This drive's been going well for Vineland. Boy, and look at that leg drive. That's a nice spot there. He's picking up about 4 after first contact was at the line of scrimmage.
Broom on the carry. Time out for injury in the field.
Looks like more cramps as you watch that toe get bent back. Sure, the guys are doing everything they can to hydrate. That starts the day
Sometimes it
before.
doesn't even matter if it's hot. You can get dehydrated. You know, you can. You just need fluid.
I used to like to start the game where I could feel the water move around in my stomach. And I'd be all right till halftime. Especially once you started letting me play both ways. Stop that silliness. I had to pretend I didn't know how to play offense so I could play defense for a while.
Can't tell who's down.
7:08 to go. Vineland on the move. As we see reconstructive orthopedics Dr. Joe Bernardini out there. I think I know who it is, but I don't want to guess and guess wrong. Hopefully Nazir Broom can get that cramp out of his leg. It's on defense and on offense. He's been a very key and valuable contributor.
Who was it, Rich?
Broom.
Huh.
But what happens sometimes is once you get your first one, they keep coming.
Yep.
So second and about 6. Shelton fakes to Anderson. Under pressure, spins out of it, and he's swarmed over and dropped. Rayshawn Rucker, number 61, finishes the play up, so it's going to be 3rd and 11 from the 42-yard line.
That man came unabated, man. Nobody touched him on the way in.
Confusion on the Williamstown side. Looks like they've got it figured out. They're still counting him. Shelton, pressure in the middle, and he's just got to come forward and get what he can.
They changed their defense, Williamstown, Rich.
Yeah, they had a lot of guys moving around
They brought 2 men up on the 2 wideouts, and they put a safety behind them. They didn't do that in the first half.
So Vineland moves the ball, but it's punt time. Schnell in the punt. Last snap was low, and they got it right where he caught it as his knee hit the ground. Otis Harrell, last one checking in. Looks like they are set. Bad snap. Gets by Snell. Who's going to dive on it? Nothing Snell could do with that one.
Good, that's
Not only was it low, it was to the side. Big break for Williamstown. As their first drive really didn't go too far, and now They gain all that ground to Vineland's 41-yard line. This will be the third time off 2 bad snaps and a turnover. They're starting in Vineland territory. So run to the top, it's closed down, but a gain of about 4 or 5.
Number 3. It's Quinn Hart.
Boys, punting from the 40 towards the end zone, you're going to get some nice field position. But the exact opposite. Nice job of Snell jumping on that. So that's a live ball, and it could have been an easy score for Williamstown. Nice job up on the line.
Number 1.
Looked like Blackwell made it up to the line of scrimmage to make that stop.
28.
4 down territory, Rich, or not?
Yeah, unless they get another first down, then they'll try that field goal probably again. But so 2 downs to get 3 yards. Collins has it loose on the ground, and he's hit, and he's going to lose about 3 or 4. Second time Collins has bobbled the ball. And you're talking about the body language of Williamstown, how they seem to be dragging. It looks like both defenses are a little worn out.
Yep.
Not so much in their play, but just in between plays, just trying to gather and regain. So here's a big 4th down for Williamstown. With 4 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Vineland's defense needs one more play here. And back to pass. Floating it off the hands, and a great job by the defender. As if he doesn't finish making that tackle, that's going to fall right back down to him off the tip. So the Vineland defense holds yet again. So offense back to it. I believe they had 2 or 3 first downs that last drive. 77 David Dutra at left tackle. And when you're a first-year starting sophomore and you're playing the offensive line and you don't hear your name too often, that means you've done a nice job. Let's see if they can get that running game going again. It's Arthur alongside Shelton. Good vision, but closed up quickly. Looked like there was a little bit more there to be had before Arthur's brought down. Well, I like this year that every time it's jet motion, it's not jet. You know, they're really mixing it up with counter back on the inside. They had that tight end like dump pass earlier to Conrad Jackson for the big gain. I think both sides are going to have tomorrow off because it's been a grinding battle out there. 2nd and 8, Shelton the pass. He floats out wide, takes a hit, spins off it, goes forward and picks up about 5.
Number 10, Shelton on the carry.
That's a pretty good play on his part. Looked like both men were covered. Rather than throw it away or throw an interception, he ran with the ball. Picked up a few yards, made it 3rd and short. Rich, what I like about it is we're seeing some real football games.
Yeah, I mean, we were watching Slaughters earlier. Looks like the ball came loose. Did Vineland get back on it, or will this be? All right. Turnover on 3rd and short. Goes back to Williamstown, who's going to start on the 37. So 1st and 10 again in Vineland territory, just like the situation we went through. And we've got to make sure we're keying Collins here, as you can't give him too many chances. He throws it out complete. Looks like they may have got away with a little bit of a hold. It's Tyler Cunningham did just enough to make a good block, not too much to get the whole gain of 4.
Second down. About 6 yards.
So 2nd and 5. There's a quick pass to the outside. There's a late flag. It's about the face mask area. I didn't see a blocker there with him. All right, holding on the offense. Let's push him back here. Make it 2nd and about 14. So you can have 3rd and 6, or where it was. Let's see, they're going to mark it off. So it's going to be 2nd and 14 yards. And I don't know if that's a timeout we have or. Not sure why everyone's heading over. Coach, I don't know if you saw a timeout called.
Oh, the refs are talking. Oh, maybe Williamstown did call a timeout, Rick.
I don't know. We're on defense, and Coach Smith isn't out there. You think they may be doing that thing where they stop it for a moment to let everybody get water? I've seen them do that on.
Did you see the referee in tennis the other day call timeout?
So he
went
could
down
get a
on
drink?
the court and gave the guy a pep talk. That was pretty good.
So the defense asked to do it again. There's 2:20 to go in the 3rd. They want to make it 2:26. Otis Harrell doing a nice job out there. Got Reyes in the middle. Tyrene Powell out
Clock's
back.
running. The ref never put the ball in play.
Oh, they wanted it down to 2:06. I heard him say 6, so now they're stopped. Come on, keep your edge on the outside. It's floated deep. Oh, what a catch. Harrell comes back right in time, but an outstanding throw and catch. The catch by Tyler Cunningham.
Wow.
Boy, we saw some speed from Howard getting back in there, but sticks his hands up, just not able to get a hand on it.
1st and goal, ball was spotted at the 8.
So 1st and goal for the Williamstown Braves. 1:55 and running in the 3rd. Collins whispers to Foreman, number 1, alongside of him. Coach Fuscitola looks at what's out there. Now he's going to change the play. They may try to pound this short side of the field. They're going to get a delay of game. There's the delay of game penalty. Or did they call timeout right before?
Yeah, I think so.
So that Vineland defense has had it back to the wall with the turnover to start. Williamstown in their own end. Then 2 punt snaps that were turnovers on downs in their own end. And they are within field goal range right now. Williamstown missed a field goal in the 2nd quarter.
That was a pretty long one, though, Rich.
Yeah, it was a 34-yarder, I think.
36. right on the money.
All right, looks like we're ready to play some football again. 1:27 to go in the third. Ball's on the 8-yard line. Collins has motion. He's going to try to quarterback draw. Nice tackle on the play.
Ball carrier stopped the backfield.
That's Jameer Malloy. The Delsey transfer at that defensive end spot.
Boy, our attack on it has been very good.
Loss on the play, second down.
So a loss on there. Now they're back to the 12-yard line, second and goal from the 12. See if Vineland tries to send a little pressure and knock them back a little further. Swing pass. Nice pursuit. Nice job as defenders are there to bring them down after it's played correctly, getting turned back in. And those Vineland D-backs really break on the football. As that time it looked like Broom came in on one side to bring them down. Now 3rd and 11, or 3rd and goal from the 11. This could be a playoff rematch later in the year. Keeping himself, there's an opening. Can he get to the goal line? He's hit, tries to spin and wrestled back, making it 4th and goal from about the 4. As Cooper tried, but a host of Vineland defenders bring him down. Nice leg drive as he leans forward, and that's going to do it for the 3rd quarter. So we're going to have to run down to the other end. As Vineland holding on now, 4th down, and Coach Fuscatello will have a time to decide if he wants to try the field goal, which would be an extra point distance. And the extra point went through fine. As Coach mentioned earlier, the field goal was from 34 yards. So, you know, sometimes you have a different trajectory and all. It's not quite as easy.
Rich, both teams had the ball twice in that quarter. Vineland started on their own 36, 38. And then, of course, they had that bad snap. Williamstown started on the Vineland 37 and the Vineland 31. So they've been in Vineland territory twice.
Yeah, great starting position and puts a ton of pressure on that defense that's been on this field pretty much the whole 3rd quarter. So what do you think, a field goal, Coach?
Oh, absolutely. Touchdowns are tough to come by, Rich.
I see 13 out there, and that's Dougie Brown, who's the holder and the backup quarterback. About one of them bad snaps. And they are going to try the kick. Nicholas Pomelo off the hold by Dougie Brown. Let's see how this snap comes back. Snap's good, kicks up, and drilled down the middle. It's good. So Vineland trails by 3, 10-7, and they'll be getting the football to start this 4th quarter. We're just one play into it. Vineland's moved the ball. So, Coach, you going back on the ground here? Just trying to drive one out?
I don't know. You got a lot of time. It's not like you're desperate. But if you open it up a little bit, and I still think that kid's open, how they're playing defense.
Powell on that quick slant, or hook.
No, hooking. Sheldon, give Sheldon, let him read that. You know, if they come up and play them tight, let somebody go deep.
Kayvon Williams, number 8, the sophomore starter on the D line.
Is that on crutches?
That's Kayvon Williams, number 8, the starter on the D line. He's out, taped up and on crutches. So seeing a little bit more of Jones and Bachma in there.
Has Broom been back in?
Say
I
again?
haven't seen Broom go back in.
Yeah, he was back.
Was he?
Yep, he made that real hard hit tackle at around the 12. So 11:56. Vineland looking for a return. They don't have Tol Kennedy, who's done it twice last year. This one's going to hit and scoot out of bounds. So good field position for Vineland to start from. As Sincere Gay lets that one roll out of bounds. Boy, talk about confidence building here if you're able to move this down and come up with something here. Vineland with 3 kickers. Carly Kling started out last year doing the extra points, then Aparicio took over, and they also have Henry Garton, the sophomore, that showed a decent leg warming up too. Why aren't they putting that ball where it belongs? They're on the 33. There we go. They're on the 35. 1st and 10, Vineland. That offensive line going to be asked again to make a push. See, it looks like you might be able to still run it here as they're fanned out, kind of like us, trying to cover space out in the flats and in the slot. Shelton to throw. He hits Jackson for a big gain. Jackson to the 42 on that tight end dump. Same thing again. He comes back there like he's trying a quarterback draw, and Jackson sneaks out and makes his 2nd big catch of the game.
Boy, he's wide open, too.
This is where you almost do the same thing, except you go over the top to Powell. Yeah, Powell give a lazy break. Watch that in the NFL sometimes. They'll jog off the ball like nothing's going on, then take off. A little bit of that last year with Millville. 1st and 10, Vineland in Williamstown territory. Tell you what, there's been some confusion on the Williamstown side defensively. It hasn't made them falter, but it's kind of nice to see. You know, if you got a team primed and ready for a run and everything's matching up well on both sides.
Pick up a 2 on the play for the 2nd down and about 8 yards to go.
Just seems easier to throw it, Coach.
Ball spot at the 40.
Now we got a matchup you like at the bottom of the screen. 5'8", Quinn Hart on Tyreen Powell at 6'4". Shelton looks that way, hesitates, he's hit, covers the football up, and there's a flag for a late hit. So it looked like they may have dropped a knee on top of him. I think that's what it's going to be, is Donovan Ujiroku.
No. False start on our part.
That flag's 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
So he's asking coach if he wants to play or the penalty.
So it's going to be on us, but false start flag will be up by the line. I think they're going to pick it up. It was a hold.
Oh, hold it.
And they'll accept the hold and lose a lot of what Jackson got them.
I thought it was a motion penalty. Or screen.
There you go, Tyreen. Stiff arm, Tyreen Powell on his feet to the 30, the 25, 20. Dives down at the 11. That's the one thing we've been told about Tyreen Powell. We know his sure hands and receptions, but he's making some moves after the catch, much like the one in the Buna game, with a little hesitation and go.
13, first and 10 for the Fighting Clan of Vineland.
Boy, big gain through the air on this drive. One to Powell, one to Jackson. Shelton also in there. Three guys I've coached baseball for a while when they were younger. It's nice to see them getting some success here. Shelton pumps to the middle. It's tipped high in the air and falls incomplete. Otis Harrell tried to make a move on it after it was deflected.
Man, he was wide open for a second.
Well, that's before the game started. You and I were talking, and when I was talking down on the field with some of the reporters, you know, today, Vineland's going to be at one level. 4 weeks from now, there's so much growth that's going to happen as they're fitting all these new pieces in. And for them to come out here and battle, trying to get themselves in field goal range, and down to the 9 or make that the 10-yard line, it's going to be third and about 7. They got to get the ball inside the 5, just over the 4-yard line for a first down. Boy, these young linemen are doing a nice job today, and some of them are going to be here 3 more years.
Third, about 7 yards to go for the first.
There's a fade to Powell. And no flag. It's going to be fourth. Will Vineland try to get their own field goal back? Aparicio has the leg from there. Looks like the field goal team coming in. Let's just make sure we're ready and we get this snap off. Let's not take too long. Ball's going to be down. He's spotted down for the hold at the 19, so a 29-yard field goal. Light breeze right in the face of Aparicio. Good snap. It's down. Aparicio skims it to the left. It's going to be no good.
It's a block.
I didn't think so, Coach.
I thought somebody got a hand on it.
So the defense now is going to have some room to work with. First time this half they've not started on their own side of the field. So the drive comes up a little short on the wide field goal.
First and 10, Williamstown ball be spotted at 20.
All right, here comes our turnover. Vineland going big across the front with DeMarcus Rivers. At 3:15. Jones at 3:50. Going out wide. Boy, I'll tell you what, they're blocking well on the outside Williamstown, because every time it's almost a hold. And if you're almost holding and you're not, that's a great block. And they kind of know when to let go when somebody's getting some separation from them.
Somebody's hurt, Rich.
Looks like Blakely's cramped up on the near side. So we're at 9:43 to go. Vineland trails just by 3 after the gain of 3. It's going to be second and 7.
Second down and 7 to go. Ball spotted.
Once again, it's also great to be back at home with our new field and everything else. And pictures are outstanding by our crew tonight. Kayla Spire, Tanner Bushman, Jordan Skarzinski. Crew chiefs Doug Diola and Ryan Steinbrown, and executive producer of VPS TV is Gia Masori, the school district's public information officer. And these games are on VPS Channel 9. You can see them Saturday at, let me see if I remember all these times. I believe 6.
Yes.
6 o'clock on Saturday. We'll do that again on Sunday also. And also Verizon Fios 41. And best way is just hop on YouTube and sneak watch it while you're at work. Right, Coach?
You would see a pretty solid football game both ways.
Yeah, I'm impressed with the turnover we've had. It's looking pretty good, and it'd just be nice to be able to finish this off. So Collins calls for some motion in front of him. He's going to try to run to the top. Cuts back through the middle. Great vision and a really nice run. That's probably his best run of the night.
Ball carries number 7.
So you can see Collins coming right to us.
He stopped on the plate on number 4. Otis Harold.
Notice Harold gets his hat in there for the stop. But moving out of their end is Williamstown, because they're going to have a 1st and 10 at their 37.
First and 10 for Williamstown.
Still plenty of time at 9:30 and running. Collins been held pretty much in check today. Now he gets to the top with some speed and a straight arm before Powell's there to stop him on the outside.
Just short, Rich.
Along with Garcia.
Again, that's Jonathan Collins. Running the bounds around the 47.
So 1 yard to go. 2nd and 1.
Boy, Collins as a senior is taking over, isn't he?
Yeah, I mentioned we've been holding him in check, and then 2 real nice plays in a row. Let's see if they take a shot here at 2nd and short. And they're just going to give over this over that side and pick up a 1st down by a half a yard.
Number 1 is Chris Foreman.
So 1st and 10 at the 46, approaching midfield.
Well, that's the first time I remember them running left. You know.
Yeah, I've not seen. Yeah, not in the middle. I've seen him try to get wide, but not up top. Bachma in, Jones out. Nice job. They can just contain here. What happened there, Collins was looking to throw the ball into the flat. Reyes is on a stunt. He sees the back cross his face, and he bellies out to cover him. So Collins has nowhere to go.
Yeah,
picks up a meager 2 yards. So sometimes you don't touch the ball or the ball carrier, but you make a play like that. Fortunately for Williamstown, Collins has the experience to see and expect Reyes to be there. Otherwise, he was sitting right between the receiver and the quarterback and would try to catch it with his one hand and big old cast. So 2nd and 8, right at midfield. 7:22 and running. Collins to the top. He's tripped up. Nice job.
Number 7 again, Collins and Perry. They pick up a 1 on the play. Brings up 3rd down. 3rd down, about 7 yards to go for the first.
That was Jameer Molly again. Excuse me, Malloy. First games are always tough with new numbers and then also new guys. A lot of times you can tell by how they move around the field, and it's going to be nice to be able to watch Malloy all season. So big 3rd down here. Vineland can hold them to a 2 or 3 yard gain here. It's probably Vineland will get the ball back. So Williamstown will punt it deep, but you got to get it done here on 3rd. 3rd, you got to get off the field. 6:30 and running. Low snap, but he has it. Big pressure. He's got an open receiver in the middle, but I think he's going to, oh my gosh, what a catch. As I thought he was going to overthrow. He had the other receiver, but in the end zone for the touchdown. Beautiful catch and reception.
What a
Jonathan
great play.
Wood.
Woo! I thought he was going to hit the short man.
I thought he should have went to the middle, but he knew what he was doing as he dropped that thing in there perfectly.
Who caught that, Rich?
Jonathan Wood.
Who?
Jonathan Wood, number 10. So that makes it 16-7. extra point try. Up and good. Vineland down 10 with 6 minutes and 16 seconds to go. They will be getting the football. That's your senior quarterback. You couldn't ask for a better throw than that. Great pressure on the play. I believe it was DeMarcus River chased him out of the pocket.
What a throw, though. He threw that ball 50 yards in the air on the move.
Dropped it on a quarter.
Woo!
Let's see how resilient Vineland can get. If I'm Williamstown, I'm kicking it deep again. Make Vineland get down the field. They got to get down the field twice.
I really thought he was going for the short guy. Short man was open. I thought the deep man was covered. You know, he wasn't in bad position either.
No, and it was a heck of a catch, too, because he was right on his back. Well, time for Vineland to make a play. They've made a couple, but just not able to get all the way to the end zone with them as Conrad Jackson has 2 long receptions. Tyreen Powell got down inside the 10. So D-back Trust Cooper still out of the game on the sideline, as is Kevon Williams.
Who else, Rich?
Williams, the defensive
Williams
lineman.
and who?
Trust Cooper, defensive back number 20.
Yeah. Well, he was out in the first half, wasn't he?
Yeah, went back in, then back out again. So Williamstown has had some tough games last year in the playoffs, losing in overtime to Millville. But they've had a very tough schedule. So a touchback. Vineland from their own 20 has 80 yards to go, and then they got to do something again.
The first attempt for the Fighting Clan ball is spotted at 20.
I'm not sure how far that pass. I think it was 51 yards, Rich. I'm not. I don't want to guess, but I thought.
No, they were right over midfield because they had gotten 2 yards.
Yeah.
So it was, I believe, from the 48.
Okay.
I think so. All right, here's Shelton trying to get Vineland back in this, and he's back to throw. He floats it up for Powell, and that should be pass interference as he wasn't going for the ball and just took Powell off the pattern.
Pass falls incomplete for the second down and 10.
Bring a little life back in here. Let's get something going, guys. This time Jackson, the tight end, is going out wide. Garcia hanging out with Powell at the bottom of the screen. So 2 receivers top, 2 bottom. Garcia in motion. And it's a screen to Powell, who makes a couple moves. And they had what they wanted up front, but secondary did a nice job
What
holding
haven't they
the
used,
ground.
Rich? And I thought he was great at the end of the year. Garcia, they haven't gone to him.
Yeah, he hasn't had a carry yet. He's made some plays on defense, but I don't think he's had a touch on offense. Doesn't mean he's not contributing, but we like to see him with the ball, too. I know he knows what he's doing and making his blocks. Shelton tries to take it himself. Can he outrun the lineman? And he lunges forward. It's going to be 4th and 2 with 5.5 minutes to go. Or look for Vineland to go for this here as they need 2 scores.
Probably 29, he's at 4th down. 4th, about 1 yard to go.
No, they're going for it, Rich.
I'm looking for a back judge. It seems like it's taking a little bit. Oh, and a blitz is called, and they stop Vineland right in their tracks. Williamstown going to take over at the Vineland 27. There's nothing there for Broom that time. He's a little slow getting up. 4:52, Williamstown ball in Vineland, and they're up 2 scores with the football.
Yeah. That was a gutty call to go for it. You know, actually, you have to.
Yeah, you need 2 scores. Let's see if Williamstown tries to go for the jugular here. It's kind of looked like he wasn't set up there. Dive up the middle, and they're just going to take some time off the clock with that one. Gain of about 3.
Yeah, the clock is running. If they just run out the clock and don't get a first down, Vineland get the ball back with about 3:01.
And I'll tell you, the experienced quarterback Collins, when they needed it, his legs got it started and just threw a beautiful ball. He's made a couple big pass plays today. This time leaking through the middle for another gain of about 2 or 3 goes Christian Foreman. Little surprised, surprised is the word, but not for a lack of respect, but it's nice seeing freshman Arthur get some carries today, especially with Tall Kennedy out and the conditions and going both ways for Broom. He had the workload early. So 3rd and 4. Collins gives, picking his way through what looks like a first down. It's right on the 19. Goes Christian Foreman. And there goes, he's just a little short. Are they going to measure here?
Vineland got a good mark on that because I thought he was up a yard or 2. The guys on the first down markers had already moved.
Timeout for measurement.
Next week, back to the old opponents we've known forever as Vineland. We're going to head down to Atlantic City Friday night at 7.
They got a new coach.
Down in AC?
Yeah, Kelly, I don't know if he quit or resigned or he was a good coach.
And next weekend, St. Joe's in Millville. Well, the important thing now is the clock at 3:06.
We would have got it back, see?
And run it.
I almost called it perfect.
Collins to the fullback up the middle. Hit and dropped after a gain of about 3. Well, it's kind of hard to be happy about what looks like is going to be a loss, but when we wrap this up, there's a lot of really good things. Vineland getting as tough of a test as the prognosticators.
Oh, this is the toughest opener they've had in years.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Remember, we used to start heading down to the small schools. There goes Collins, picking his way through the middle and in the end zone.
18-yard run, Rich.
Number 7, goes Jonathan Collins for the touchdown.
It's a little bit of fatigue there. And Collins, great vision, and so when we say we expect a little bit of something, there it is. Matter of fact, I think that was Foreman.
18-yard run by Collins.
With 2:07 to go. So Another extra point try for Williamstown. They've converted all the extra points, just missing one field goal. Up and good.
Extra point attempt is good.
(24-7) Williamstown as this fourth quarter is unraveled for Vineland.
Yeah, it's been all Williamstown in the fourth quarter, Rich.
Well, that drive, you're down 2 scores. You got to make something happen. So Vineland going for it deep in their own end. Really
the
good.
turnaround was the missed field goal by Vineland to tie the score. They tied the score. It's a different game.
Yeah, because even that touchdown, now you're just down 1 score and you've got 8 minutes to go. Not the result you want if you're on the Vineland sideline, but there was some decent play tonight, and you showed you can play with these guys.
Yeah,
didn't have a huge drop-off like, not you're worried about, but you consider could happen.
You step up in class with they had to do with the change of the schedule. Like you said, they're playing the top, 5 teams?
Yeah, last year's final standings, the top 5 they've got. From the 5.
Good cut.
Jonathan Toney with a nice return to about the 29.
Good cut.
So same lineup in there, Shelton back under. Exactly 2 minutes on the clock. Trip receivers up top. Shelton looking that way. Floats it out short. Big hit by the defense after a gain of 4. Vineland trying to get quickly to the ball, but the player is hurt. Arthur checking back in for Vineland. It's nice when it gets a little cooler and we don't see all these cramps out there. Well, that offensive line you're looking at's done a nice job for their first time together tonight. I'm sure Coach has some points that they can improve on, but all in all, replacing 3 out of 6 today, and your offense was getting some yards on the ground. You gave some protection.
I was impressed with Sheldon, too, for his first start.
Yeah, and
he handled himself very well.
First start at home.
He ran the ball with some success.
Replacing one of the most successful players we've had at Vineland.
Yeah.
You didn't press and try too hard. Weren't any bad throws or
horrible
horrible decisions.
Threw the ball
He made
well.
pretty good decisions today.
He made one bad throw. I like Powell on the outside. I'd be throwing to him. If they were going to play him like that all the time, you can't. You can't play 8-10 yards off of him. You got to hook him up.
Mm-hmm.
Or send the outside man deep and then sideline him.
Did a lot of that last year with him. Just like catching the ball 7 yards downfield and falling forward for a first. Showing a lot more dynamics in his running ability.
He's a heck of a weapon. He reminds me when we had Lee Hall. What are you going to do to stop Lee? Go ahead. Put a man on him, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Put 2 men on him, we win.
Yeah.
We had some good receivers over the years, and they all had ability to block, and they had the ability, to catch the ball. But
Block
in the
first,
veer,
though.
blocking was first.
Block first. You got it. It's one thing that irks me with every team I'm watching, just when the receivers take a play off.
Oh, yeah.
They don't break off the ball because it's pitched the other way.
I watched both our wideouts do that.
Same thing with quarterback carrying out fakes. Like, you've got something to do, and you got to do it to your best every time. But talk about execution with all these new parts on offense. One procedure penalty, not too shabby.
No.
That's that team discipline and coaching, you know. No defensive offsides. We usually had 4 of them a game.
Who's that, Rich? I can't see the number.
That's Broom cramped up.
Huh?
That's Broom.
Is it? Man, he's been up and down all night.
Once you start getting cramps, it's really hard to catch up with your hydration, not to get them. It's more annoying than anything else. But so 2nd and 6. Shelton, quarterback draw. Heads to the middle. Squirts forward for a first down. That'll stop the clock momentarily with 1:32 to go. Shelton looking, of course they're not pressed up as far, but looking better and better in space and attacking the line of scrimmage. .120. Shelton throws short. Tackled after a 4 or 5 yard gain. That's Tony. So under a minute at 58 seconds. Vineland just trying to get some more points here and work this offense. Ball came out a little crooked that time. It's a little bit of late pressure arrived. Shelton standing in there, just squeezed it a little too tight. 47 seconds to go. It's 3rd down. And the clock stopped on the incompletion. And we're ready to go. Fake. Shelton with time throws it short underneath, and a real nice tackle as Brody Colbert comes up and makes the stop, making it 4th down. So it was a 7-7 game at half, 10-7 game in the 4th. Now 24-7 with the 2 late scores by Williamstown. As we're down to 20 seconds and running. So Vineland going to wait till play clock's about done. See if they're going to let it run down, and they do. And that's going to do it, 24-7. Williamstown over Vineland in what was a highly contested game early. Coach, you want to take me through that half?
Absolutely. We started the second half of Williamstown having the ball. They had 2 and outs, and at the end of that 3rd quarter, they took the field goal to go up 10-7. Vineland came back with a drive, brought it over in the 4th quarter. At 11:56 mark in the 4th quarter, they missed the field goal. And I thought that was a big turning point in the game, Rich, because that would have tied it up in the 4th quarter. Williamstown got the ball on the 20, drove down the field on a magnificent, we say maybe 48, 49 yards. Collins the Wood at the 6:06 mark. It put them up, the kick was good, put them up 17-7. Vineland came back on 4th down, was stopped. Collins ran an 18-yard run with 2:07 to go. The kick was good, and Rich, the final score is 24-7.
Well, before we give our final thoughts on this, Let's once again thank our sponsors for today. Make sure you thank them by checking them out and seeing what they have to offer. The Red and Gray Gridiron Club would like to thank the following sponsors for their support of Vineland High School football. Sir Speedy, Reconstructive Orthopedics, Ducharmes, the Greenview Inn at Eastland Golf Course, Newfield National Bank, Larry's 2 Restaurant and Caterers, Allen Associates, Delsey ShopRite, Bella Limousine, Medio Law Firm, the Claridge, a Radisson Hotel, Technic Consulting, Vineland Education Association, Begel University, Manny and Vic's Pizzeria and Restaurant, MVP Sports Bar, Richland Carpet and Flooring, GNS Dry Cleaners, Carluzzo and Teresi Petroleum Transporters, Bondi Insurance Agency, Dr. Gorson General and Cosmetic Dentistry, Baruffi Brothers, Beretta Plumbing, Heating and Cooling, Luciano Medical, Van Dodge, and Homestead Plumbing and Heating. Vineland High School football team and coaches thank everyone for their support on and off the field and look forward to another successful season. That's the start we got, in my mind, Coach, replacing so many key parts. A lot of new guys in the lineup facing the number 3 ranked team in South Jersey. And boom, we're 7-7 at half. 10-7, we're down by 3 in the fourth quarter. Not a lot of mistakes, not a lot of penalties. Very good discipline. And the one thing that's a little different between these two teams is all these new pieces for Vineland fit together. They're only going to get better, quicker, and faster. While Williamstown, they're going to be better also, but they've been here. All these guys have been together, so their ceiling isn't quite as high as this is going to be for the Fighting Clan. And I look forward to an outstanding season and getting back into these playoffs and getting that playoff W, Coach.
Good summation, Rich. Mine is very easy. You step up in class, you have to play. And Vineland played very well for 3 quarters. Again, I go back to that missed field goal that would have tied the score. And I think when you get a tie, your mindset changes.
Yeah. And making that field goal makes it a one-possession game no matter what they do in their possession. You're absolutely right, Coach.
Well,
next week we are heading on the road to Atlantic City. Vineland, Atlantic City, I think we have 3 years in a row with a win over AC, even though they're a 2 or 3 time in a row playoff team. And we'll be down there trying to get this ship righted. But all in all, I'd say a pretty decent opening performance, and we're going to have some really good South Jersey football to watch here in Vineland. Before I say goodbye, once again, I'd like to thank our crew. Tonight's crew, Kayla Spire, Tanner Bushman, Jordan Skarzinski, crew chiefs Doug Diola and Ryan Steinbron. And VPS TV is Jim Masori, the school district's public information officer. Coach, get us out of here.
For myself, John Parentazzi, and my partner, Rich Scarpa, did another great job tonight. We leave Stadium with the start of the 2018 season. Have a great week, and we hope we see you next week. Thank you.